Today, folks, we have one question on our mind. We're gonna see, is the Hyperion Elite #2 really worth $100 more than the Endorphin Speed? Pew, 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 pew. Let's get into it. We have a little guest. Who's that? Hi, girl. First of all, welcome back to the channel, everybody. If this is your first time on the channel, my name is Brendon, and we talk all things shoes, running, marathon training, anything running related. You're gonna find it here on the channel with one common goal: to make us all better, stronger, faster, and happier runners. If that's something you're into, consider hitting that subscribe button right down below. I would really appreciate it. You know what? Actually, no, don't consider it. Just go and do it. You know you want to hit that subscribe button. All right, let's get on to the review. I know exactly what you're thinking. You're thinking you can't put the Endorphin Speed up against the Hyperion Elite #2. The two shoes are for different things. The Hyperion Elite #2 is strictly a racing shoe. It has that carbon fiber plate, where the Endorphin Speed is marketed more towards like an up-tempo, fast day shoe, and you can use it for race days if you want, but that's not the intended purpose. For me, I have to say that's just totally wrong. For me, the Endorphin Speed is a fully capable race day shoe. Just because it doesn't have a carbon fiber plate, it has a nylon plate, which honestly is in and of itself pretty stiff and provides quite a bit of energy return. Whatever the plates are there for, I find the nylon plate does a great job. So I wanted to put these two shoes up against each other and figure out, why is this $100 more? Why is the Hyperion Elite #2 $100 more? How can they justify the cost increase? I have no clue. Yes, different companies, different engineering staff, all that stuff, but let's not beat around the bush. Let's figure out exactly if the premium is worth it. I'm not really gonna get into technical specs in this comparison. If you wanna see more about that, go check the initial impressions of each of these shoes, but I'm just gonna tell you right off the bat that they are very similar in terms of weight. So yeah, and they both fit true to size. So I went 10.5 US in both of these and they fit perfectly. So that's all you're getting for tech specs in this video. Let's get into the head-to-head comparison. So let's get into the upper of the Hyperion Elite #2 to start off. It's a super lightweight upper, very breathable. I haven't had any troubles on my runs with it. Haven't had any hot spots. So in terms of upper, I'm enjoying it so far. I really like the addition of this little heel collar padding thing. I really like that in all my shoes. So yeah, thumbs up right there. I know some people may not like that, but I do like the ankle collar padding. So that's something, yeah, that's a cool thing. The tongue on this is my only complaint in terms of the upper because it's not gusseted. And that's where the Endorphin Speed picks up its slack. So moving on to the Endorphin Speed upper, the Endorphin Speed has that gusseted tongue that we all know and love and just think about when we're sitting there in our chair late at night, thinking of great times we once had. We think of a gusseted tongue, and the Endorphin Speed delivers on that for us. It has a little bit of a reinforced heel here with this Klingon forehead looking thing. I have had no troubles at all in terms of lockdown in either of these shoes. Some people have had troubles in the Endorphin lineup, but for me, no troubles so far in terms of heel slippage, but something to be aware of that people have had troubles. And in terms of which upper I prefer on each of these shoes, I have to go with the Endorphin Speed. Because of that gusseted tongue, I find the lockdown to be just that little bit better. With the Hyperion Elite, I've been finding every now and then the tongue kind of slides on the edge of my foot and I kind of get some discomfort and I have to fiddle with the tongue, and it's just extra work. I don't want to have to think about the tongue. And that's exactly what gusseted tongues do. It eliminates the need for you to have to think about it. So thumbs up, the Endorphin Speed wins in terms of upper. Now let's move on to the most important thing of any shoe, in my opinion, and that is the ride feel. It doesn't matter if you have a great upper and a great outsole, if the ride feel sucks, I'm not gonna wanna use it. So let's compare the ride feel of these two beauties. Now, the Endorphin Speed has a PEBAX based midsole, where the Brooks Hyperion Elite number 2 has a DNA Flash nitrogen infused midsole. And what does that really mean? Well, for you and I sitting on the streets, it's just different material. But for the shoe engineers that are trying to figure out how to unlock the power of the super shoe, the PEBAX based midsoles have a lot of research into them that say by using this foam, there's less fatigue in your leg, it's springier and all that stuff. And I think they're trying to prove the same thing with the nitrogen infused foams, but there hasn't been much third-party research on this type of foam, so this still kind of not 100% proven. Maybe in the insides of Brooks, they know something we don't know. I'm sure there's going to be researchers picking this up and trying to figure out exactly what the differences and benefits are of these two different foams. I'm not going to talk about things I don't really know a whole lot about, so let's move on to something I do know about, and that is how it feels out on the road. So for the positives of the Brooks Hyperion Elite number 2 in terms of ride feel, I gotta give it to the wider landing platform. So what I've been finding a lot in these super shoes is that because they are such soft foams and kind of a racier fit, I tend to overpronate more and more. It's a very unstable ride. However, this wide landing platform in the Brooks Hyperion Elite makes it super stable. I really, really do enjoy it. So that's positive number 1, is the wider landing platform. Pretty darn well, whereas the Endorphin Speed, I am a little unstable. And the curvature of this midsole here, what they're doing for their version of speed roll technology or whatever, Hoka rocker, whatever technology you want to call it, I find it really helps with my heel striking. Yes, people have commented on the videos, I heel strike. There's not much I can do about that. I'm trying to be more of a midfoot striker. Just give me time. When I'm not doing MAF training, I will be doing a more midfoot strike, I promise. However, in the Hyperion Elite number 2, because of this curvature, the heel striking, it actually didn't feel that bad. It was a nice roll-off effect, very smooth. But that brings us to our first negative, and that is I do find that this shoe forces a gait cycle rather than allows me to have a natural gait cycle. So yes, I have to say this shoe feels like it's riding me and I'm not riding the shoe. I feel very much like I can't do what I want to do because the shoe kind of snaps me into how it's designed to feel and I can't break out of it. So if you want your shoe to work with you rather than the shoe force you to be a certain way, I'd look to a different option because the Endorphin Speed, I am in full control in that aspects. Going through the gait cycle, it's my natural gait cycle, but it helps me along that gait cycle. The Endorphin Speed is beautiful for that, very smooth. Anyone that has run in it will tell you it's a magical feeling shoe when it's on your feet. And another downside is the Brooks Hyperion Elite number 2 is a pretty stiff ride. It's obviously, yes, I know it's going to be more stiff than the Endorphin Speed purely for the fact that it has a carbon fiber plate where the Endorphin Speed has a nylon plate, but it is a very stiff ride and I don't think it's only because of the carbon fiber plate. I think it does have to do with this nitrogen infused foam not being as soft as the PEBAX based foams. And what that is attributed to is, I think, well, in combination of it controlling my gait cycle and the stiffer foam, is towards the end of the runs, I am getting a little bit of shin discomfort when I'm wearing the Hyperion Elite number 2. Now, maybe as I use the shoe more and more, it'll change. We're gonna have to do many more updates in terms of this shoe to figure that out. But in the Endorphin Speed, I haven't had that issue. I haven't finished a run where I felt anything but fresh. Through the entire run, I'm feeling nice. My legs are really thanking me for buying this shoe and using the PEBAX based foam, and I just have like a little bit of a love affair with the Endorphin Speed. I'm not gonna lie. It's a fantastic shoe, and I haven't had any troubles like I've had in here. But it's not all rainbows in terms of the Endorphin Speed. So I've already mentioned a couple bonuses, but we'll recap right here is I find the midsole in the Endorphin Speed very, very plush and keeps my legs feeling fresh. And the speed roll technology that they have here helps me along my gait cycle. It doesn't force me to have a certain gait cycle, unlike the Hyperion Elite number 2. But again, there has to be some negatives, and I mentioned them before too. And that is because this midsole is so soft, I do feel that I'm overpronating quite a bit and do feel quite unstable. But other than the fact that it's a little bit unstable, there's no real downsides to this midsole here. Like, they're fantastic. Now let's move on to versatility. Okay, so versatility of these two shoes, I have to say the Endorphin Speed, it just wins. I'm not even gonna try to say any arguments for the Hyperion Elite number 2 because the Hyperion Elite number 2 is not very versatile. I think that that is a pure racing shoe and you have to use it for faster stuff. Otherwise it'll feel a little awkward, and I think maybe that's why I find it a little bit hard because I didn't use it at those faster speeds. However, the Endorphin Speed, guys, I've been using it for any type of run. You say a type of run, easy day run. I pick up the Endorphin Speed. Tempo day run, yeah, I'll use my Endorphin Speed. Oh, Brendon, do you want to go race a marathon? Sure, I'll use my Endorphin Speed. There's nothing that I wouldn't use the Endorphin Speed for, guys. It's such a magical shoe, and how they're only charging 199 Canadian dollars for it, 160 US dollars, is beyond me. And by the way, I buy all these shoes with my own money. I have no affiliates with anyone. I buy these shoes and come in here and talk about them with you guys, and as you can tell, I get quite fired up about it. Okay, so yes, versatility winner is the Endorphin Speed. Now let's move on to value, and I think you probably know where this is going. The Endorphin Speed wins for value hands down. I don't understand how shoe companies price their shoes, and I don't think I ever will, but it really racks my brain how this shoe can be $100 more. Maybe if you're a top-end elite, you would get a little bit more performance out of it, but you know what, for the everyday Joe, non-elite runner such as myself, the Endorphin Speed, hands down, way better value. And honestly, I'd go as far to say the better shoe in terms of the battle here. I have to give it to the Endorphin Speed. I really enjoy this shoe each and every time I take it out. I could take it out for anything. It's fantastic. It's slamming down the Brooks Hyperion Elite number 2, but of course we have a lot more testing to do in the Hyperion Elite number 2. We've only done about 4 runs in it, but I want to do this comparison because I thought it'd be fun to come in here and talk about it. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for making it to the end of the video. The Endorphin Speed is the winner for today's battle, but there's going to be many more. We have the Endorphin Pro coming up soon. That'll be probably middle of next week. I'll try to get that done. But in between, we have tons of great videos coming up. So hit that subscribe button, really appreciate it. And please smash that like button. We need it. We need the like button. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Have a fantastic Thursday. I'm going to work. See you later. Welcome back to the channel, everybody.